So now that we have all of our equations solved into perfect square form, let's talk about how we can use perfect square form to determine how many solutions there are. So first off, here's all of your answers for A, B, C, and D for 9-12. Now let's talk about how they're useful. So first off, right here is our perfect square on all of our problems. And what your perfect square equals will help you determine how many solutions there are, and you don't even have to solve them. Now, thinking back though to when you do solve them, you would take the square root of both sides on, say, letter A to solve for x. When you do that, you would get x minus 3 equals the square root of 2. But remember that we can take the positive of square root of 2 and the negative of square root of 2. So that means that we have 2 solutions for that one. 2 solutions. Okay, looking at letter B, same idea. Take the square root of both sides, and that would tell you that you get n plus 6 equals the square root of negative 1. Now hopefully you thought right away, hey, I can't take the square root of a negative number. So that tells you that there's no solution here. Now, there is this thing called imaginary numbers, but we won't get into it right now, so there's no real solution, at least not yet. So no real solutions. Okay, over here, we have our perfect square equal to 0. So I want you to think about if you were to take the square root of 0, how many solutions would you come up with? Hopefully you're thinking only 1, because you wouldn't have a plus or minus 0. There's only 0. So that would be 1 solution. Okay, now take what you learned and look at this last one, D. If you took the square root of negative 6.75, what would you say for the number of solutions? 2? No real ones? Or 1? Well, I hope that you put on the brakes again and said, I can't take the square root of a negative number. So this one would have no real solutions. So to review, when you have your quadratic equations solved into that perfect square form, you would have, if you could have a positive number that your perfect square is equal to, you're going to have 2 solutions. If it's a negative number that your perfect square is equal to, there's going to be no real solutions because you can't take a square root of a negative number. And if your perfect square is equal to 0, then you're only going to have 1.